Of this program has been documented to prevent and even cure liberalism, and listening may cause you to lean to the right. Here's your conservative, but not bitter host, Todd Huff.
That is right. Conservative, not bitter. That is what we are on this program, and it is good to be here. I don't care. No, I do care. I do care what you believe, what you think, what you feel, who you vote for. You have to tell me. I'm just saying that we want to persuade you for constitutional conservatism, and I think, one of the things, and we did this, hit this interview last segment with Trent Green, last hour, I should say, with Trent England. If I said Trent Green, daggone it, I think I did that. Trent Green is an former NFL football player. I do that from time to time. My brain gets moving on to something else, and I apparently go into autopilot. Trent England was with us talking about the Electoral College. And look, one of the things that I think we've got to do better as conservatives, I made this clear before, and I say this again, we've got to be better. It's not simply enough, let's say it this way, it's not simply enough to have the quote-unquote right, if you want to say it this way, the right constitutional beliefs. That's important. I'm not minimizing. But we've got to think in terms of moving the needle. If the only people we're around, or the only people we're influencing, are those who already agree in the constitutional framework, right? Limited government, balance of power, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, liberty, and those sorts of things, states' rights. If the only people we're around or talking to about these things are people who agree, we're not doing ourselves any real favors. Sure, we might be helping one another understand a particular issue better. We might be helping one another in our quest to try to articulate and explain these issues, but we're not moving the needle ourselves. And I think that is where conservatism, we've got to deal with this better. We've got to deal with this better. I mean, the future of the country is at stake. It really is. I know that sounds melodramatic for folks, but the truth is, again, as I've said on this program before, America is great not because of the DNA, although we've had some tremendous human beings that have been Americans, but we're not genetically different or superior or better. What makes the United States this wonderful place is the ideas upon which she was built. And if we deviate, it stands to reason, folks. I mean, these are the sorts of things that can be explained to people, I think, in a very common sense centric approach, right? So if we're built upon ideas and we deviate from them, and those ideas, let me say this, if we're built upon ideas, a nation of ideas, and those ideas have led to prosperity, have led to improvements in the quality of life, the standard of living, if those ideas have unleashed the greatest economic engine on the face of the planet, if those ideas have given people the opportunity to pursue their dreams, start new businesses, start, different churches or, different religious groups or whatever the case may be, heck, atheist groups, whatever the case. And this is a place where you can do those things. If those ideas have led to positive change over the course of the globe, and I think sometimes our vantage point, our viewpoint is a little bit skewed. I think we've been, what's the word I want to use here? We've been a little bit spoiled as Americans. I mean, we have it really well off. Now, that doesn't excuse the abuses we've seen, like with Susan Rice, with the Michael Flynn case, with Benghazi, with the Russian collusion narrative, this impeachment hoax, Nancy Pelosi, all that stuff. We're talking about individuals. I'm talking about the system. Individuals are people who make choices to exploit certain circumstances. Those folks are going to exist no matter what the form of government. By the way, those folks exist in heavy-handed communistic forms of government, and candidly, they're usually the ones at the top. I mean, find me a communistic regime that respects human rights. I mean, they just don't exist. You get people in these positions of power, and this power is virtually unlimited, and they have people who oppose them, and they take it personally, and they take it out on them. Or they think, why is someone worshiping a god? I'm the god. That's what people think. These dictators, I mean, they do. Look at North Korea as a prime example, right? They're basically teaching the people that their leaders are deity, are a form of a god. They're worshipped. And I mean, you see forms of this all throughout history. And I think if our view of history expands and we see that there has been a lot of suffering, there's been a lot of poverty, there has been a lot of, oppression and tyranny throughout history. If we see these things and we see the United States come along, this little bitty nothing, metaphorically speaking, country back in the 1770s, fought for its independence, never should have been able to get that independence. I mean, they were a gnat attacking an elephant, the British Empire. But yet they succeeded, and they built this country upon ideas, and those ideas led that group of people from a relatively short time ago, right? We're talking about the United States was just, I mean, it's only been in existence now for, 230 years or whatever it is officially, 240. So you look at this, and you think, these ideas are super powerful. Treating people as citizens and not subjects is a super powerful idea. Giving people the right to keep that which they earn, giving them as much liberty as can possibly be the case this side of heaven, right? Put another way, only centralizing power in a federal government in those areas that absolutely have to be done, the necessary components, right? A limited government, not a feckless or powerless government, but a limited government, a government that has power, but not in areas it shouldn't have power. This idea of self-governance, this idea that the people give the government permission in certain areas to effectively, I don't want to say have control, but you know what I mean. These are the government's responsibilities, so to speak. These ideas are powerful. And so if you change, this is back to the original point, if you change enough of those ideas, those things that I highlighted, touched on, and there's many, many more. But if ideas are what made this nation great, and you start to change those ideas, at some point, the true greatness of America is no longer there because the idea had been abandoned. And one of those ideas is this concept of states. We are, again, it's amazing to me. The name of this nation is the United States of America. It's in our name, right? We had 13 at the time colonies come together to form a federal government, right? That's what happened originally after we fought Britain. They came together and they formed first they had the Articles of Confederation, then of course the Constitution. But these were 13 colonies that eventually became states that said, we're not giving up the right to be a state. We're not giving up our sovereignty. We're just, going to work together to form this federal government. And of course there was argument and a debate about what that would look like. But that was the process. We're a group of states, and that is lost on a lot of people today. That's our name, United States of America. People think that we're just one nation, when we are one nation, but one federal government. People look at our state and local governments as subjective subjected to the federal government, and that's not the case. Look at the 10th Amendment, right? Look at what the 10th Amendment says. Certainly, there are instances the federal government has control. Ironically, it's often the areas that we're told that they shouldn't have control. For example, immigration, right? We have states that are basically disregarding the role of the federal government, the authority of the federal government on an issue like immigration. But meanwhile, you have other issues that states are doing. States are choosing to do things, not complying with the heavy-handedness of the federal government, right? I mean, imagine, by the way, if a leftist was president today through all this coronavirus. Of course, it makes you wonder how this would have been reported, how this, what the death number, the death count would be. Would that be different? Would there be as much panic and paranoia? I don't know. The media is certainly predispositioned to behave in those ways and to get clicks and all that kind of stuff. But you wonder, and you also wonder if the federal government would take a more aggressive role in interfering with states' abilities, governors' abilities to do what they're going to do regarding the opening of their particular state and so forth. But these ideas matter, right? The right of the individual, the right of the state. We're not subjects of the government. We are citizens. And I still think there's a lot of people that don't understand that. I think if they have these things articulated and explained to them, and of course to do that, we have to go find a way to connect with these folks, and then we have to be sure to earn the right to talk about these things. You just can't sit down and tell somebody off the cuff, hey, I'm a conservative and this is what you need to be and here's why and you need to do what I say, and I've got history and philosophy and all these things on my side, and if you're not doing this, you're wrong. Like that's not the way. That's not the way to persuade people. We have to persuade them. And we have to understand where they're coming from. We have to understand what it is that they have a misconception about. So that matters with issues like the Electoral College. That matters with issues regarding the role of our government, the role of, say, judges. You see this judge in the Michael Flynn case acting out of control. No one seems to care. A few news outlets do. But this judge is completely out of control. The Flynn team has filed they're trying to have this judge removed because the judge effectively should have just signed off on the Department of Justice's ruling that they're not going to proceed with charges against Michael Flynn, which, again, I had that interview yesterday with Zach Smith of the Heritage Foundation. If you missed that, you can go to our website and check that out. It'll actually shine, I think, a lot of light on that particular case. It's egregious what's happening. And we're misdirected. We're misdirected by the media and the Democrat Party. We're told the real threat to our Constitution, to our liberty, the real totalitarian in the room is Donald J. Trump. That's what they want you to believe. Meanwhile, the guy is reducing taxes. He's cutting out bureaucracy. In fact, I just saw he sign an executive order eliminating some other bureaucratic rules. Those are not actions taken by tyrants, folks. The actions taken by tyrants consolidate power. The actions taken by tyrants do not push power back to the states and to the people. The actions taken by tyrants don't cut your taxes. They actually increase your taxes. They want you to have less freedom and more dependence upon them. These are the tactics that, this is historically, provable. You just look at the way that tyrants have acted before. Trump is not the threat. Certainly doesn't mean that we should ignore him and the media should let him get away with things or not to question him. That's not what I'm suggesting at all. Instead, I'm suggesting that we look at this objectively, and that when we see these folks demonizing or targeting one particular individual or side of the argument, meanwhile completely ignoring the abuses of the other, be it from Susan Rice, Joe Biden. See the tapes, the recorded phone calls were released yesterday by the Ukrainians, between Biden and the ambassador there. But that was released, and they had some harsh words based on what I've seen from the translations of this. It's not in English yet, but they're not happy about this at all. Of course, there's questions about the corruption in the Ukrainian government as well. So there's fair questions there. But the point is, our media, our Democrat Party, ignores all of these things that happen that are perpetrated by the Democrats and by liberals. Meanwhile, they attach themselves, they fixate on allegations against Republicans. They fixate on the narrative against Trump. In fact, they create the narrative against Trump. These things are dangerous. And when persuading people, there's a lot of things to cut through, but we've got to find a way to do it, because otherwise, folks, if we don't see an increase in the number of constitutional conservatives in this country, I shudder to think what this place will look like in 20 years. So, anyway, enough about that. Got to take a time out. Quick time out. We will get back and continue our discussion here on some issues of the day, and maybe some more thoughts on making the case for constitutional conservatism and how we can help persuade people. But going to do that after the break. Sit tight. You're listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff. Back in just a minute.
Looking to make a conservative, not bitter fashion statement? Check out our apparel online, including brand new items at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
Are you an electrician, plumber, or handyman looking for an 8-to-5 job that pays you what you're worth? Copper Ridge Home Services wants you. Our veteran-owned family business offers holiday pay, weekends off, and on-site training for entry-level positions. Our team is growing, so if you have a can-do attitude, we want you to be part of that growth. Ready for a change? Give Copper Ridge a call at 317-839-6100. That's 317-839-6100. Copper Ridge Home Services. We value your time.
Healthcare is expensive and complicated. Did you know that as a Christian business owner, it is possible to provide access to affordable health benefits for your employees? Remodel Health has helped employers across the United States save over $22 million in the past 3 years. Our innovative approach allows your employees to have the health benefits they need at a cost you can afford. Go to remodelhealth.com/Todd to help your employees find the healthcare they deserve. Remodel Health. Rethink employee health benefits.
You rely on your vehicle every day. It's not a member of the family, but you spend as much time with it as most family members. You wouldn't take your family to just any doctor, so don't trust your vehicle to just any repair service. At Raymond's Auto and Truck Repair in Plainfield, we have well-trained, caring technicians that have the expertise to get you back on the road. For 25 years, we've been servicing personal, commercial, and fleet vehicles. Give us a call at 317-838-7112 for the car service you deserve.
Hi, I'm Greg Hubler from Greg Hubler Chevrolet. You know, a promise can get lost in a big city, but in a smaller town, a promise made had better be a promise kept. That's why the Greg Hubler Promise covers every vehicle we sell. All new Chevys receive a 3-year, 45,000-mile scheduled maintenance, plus complimentary roadside assistance and a free car wash with every visit. A promise made is a promise kept. Stop by Greg Hubler Chevy today or visit GregHublerChevy.com. Cruise on over to Canby. Find new roads.
Anxiety, depression, relationship problems, past trauma. Problems rarely get better when given time. Care to Change counseling can help. Our professionals combined evidence-based care models with scripture to get you on the path to a productive life. We are here to help you make the changes you need for a healthier, happier you. Take that brave step today. Call Care to Change at 317-790-9396 or visit caretochange.org.
This is the sound of your typical do-it-yourselfer in completely over his head.
For heating, plumbing,
and electrical done right.
Call Mr. Quick. Call Mr. Quick. Dial the number, spell the words. For on time.
The compassion of Christ compels us to stop what we're doing and seek that person out. I think as Jesus went, in that famous song I sang as a little kid was Zacchaeus, come down. Zacchaeus was in a tree and he wanted to engage with Jesus, but he just couldn't, and Jesus stopped and he went over to him. If we are going to live a life of compassion, the compassion of Christ, are we willing to stop and seek those who need a touch of compassion today?
What if your bank treated you like a person instead of an account number? What if you could sit across from the person you are opening an account with or requesting a loan from and have an actual conversation? You may be thinking, Todd, that's crazy talk. Well, not at Citizens Bank. Come visit them in Monrovia and meet Nick Gibson, their new branch manager, and the rest of their staff. Or give them a call at 317-831-0110. Citizens Bank is an equal housing lender and member FDIC. Welcome back. You'll hear me going back to this issue of being persuasive for conservatism, constitutional conservatism, and so forth. You'll hear me from time to time say when I'm talking about, say, my state's senator or my particular representative in the U.S. Congress. I'm in District 4, I guess. It's not enough for me, and some might think this is being overbearing with the representative, and I'm not venomous about it. I'm not hateful about it, but my expectations are not just that you vote in a way that's consistent with the Constitution, liberty, constitutional conservatism. I want you out there being the cheerleader. I want you on media outlets. I don't even care if you venture into the pits at CNN and MSNBC. I don't even mind that. I want you to carry the banner of constitutional conservatism with pride, with excitement. I want you to be out there trying to persuade. I want you to be out there fighting back against these ridiculous narratives. I'm just going to say, so I'm just going to tell you a story. I don't even care anymore. But there's one of our two state senators in Indiana. We have Mike Braun, who's been on this program multiple times, and we have Todd Young, who I invited on this program, and they appreciated it, but this was back during the impeachment trial. And the response to me, I kid you not, I could pull it up and read it to you. Don't even care anymore. But the response was something like, Senator Young has made a public statement about impeachment, but he's not doing any interviews right now, but he'd like to come on after that. That's not leadership, folks. Look, leadership is when the metaphorical bullets are flying. You don't wait until it calms down and then come out and say, to see which side of the argument won, and then craft your response so that you're on the right side of the narrative. No, leadership demands that you get out there and you actually try to stand up for something no matter what the opposition is. I couldn't care less. You know what? Yesterday, and I got to be honest with you, last evening, I went ahead. We send our newsletter out on Tuesdays, and you can sign up. It's free. ToddHuffShow.com/subscribe. You can also sign up by text, at least for the time being. I don't know. Most of the folks we get sign up through the website, but some folks text. So you can still text. Text the word Huff to 31996. Free email newsletter. I wrote this last night. I sent it out last night. But I wanted to, the passing of Ravi Zacharias, it kind of hit me hard last night. And I didn't know, my brother had met Ravi, and I know some people who know Ravi, but I didn't know him. But his impact and what he did now he was a Christian, so he's an evangelist, apologist, out there trying to persuade people to the truths of Christianity, to the gospel, which I'm a big proponent of as well. Similar to what we try to do for constitutional conservatism, right? I mean, that determines how we live on this planet. Our relationship with God determines how we live on this planet too. But it also takes into account the rest of eternity, whatever that looks like. Again, I'm a Christian, so I believe it's what the Bible says. But, whatever people think eternity looks like, that really our opinions on it don't matter. It is what it is. And we have to either find or have truth revealed to us. So, but you look at Ravi and you look at what the guy did, and I think he's a great model. Now, again, he's talking about Christ and apologetics, trying to make the case for Jesus, the resurrection, and different things like that pertaining to biblical truth. But the way in which he approached it, it's really, I don't want to say that we've modeled it intentionally after that, but we kind of ended up at the same spot. In fact, I remember we did an interview series with his team around last spring. I had 3 different people on the program, and from his organization. None of them were none of them were Ravi. So, but we had several of his other people on, and I was talking with one of his team members, and when she understood our position here on this program as conservative, not bitter, she actually said, reminds her of what Ravi said. And I don't know if Ravi said this publicly or just maybe inside, internally. But he said, when we're communicating, I'm paraphrasing here, but when we're communicating the gospel, we need to be more light and use more light, less heat. In other words, bring truth, talk about truth, but don't crank up the heat. Don't make it more intense. Meet people where they are. And I think that that's a great lesson. That's really conservative, not bitter. They intersect, and that's what made her think of that. She said that's kind of how we do things here as well. We just say it differently. More light, less heat, which is a profound way of saying it. But conservative, not bitter, same thing, right? We are conservative. We stand by the principles of constitutional conservatism. We believe in limited government. We believe in the power of the people because we're created in the image of God. We have liberties. These liberties are inalienable rights, not given to us by people or governments, but rather by God. These things have unleashed the creative forces of humanity. They have led to prosperity. They have led to all sorts of benefits. I hear people talk about charity, and I have no problem with charity. In fact, the most giving people are oftentimes the most capitalistic, right? They understand that they've been blessed and they want to help others. But when I bring up charity to say, a lot of people think that the most charitable thing we can do is have something like socialism. But the most people that have ever been brought out of poverty in the world have been brought out by means of capitalism. Capitalism is the path out of poverty. Capitalism creates wealth. Capitalism puts control of your future in your hands. Socialism puts you as a piece, a particular spoke in the proverbial wheel, right? And your abilities to do things and improve your life are minimized because you're part of the whole. You have things taken from you. In fact, in the worst case scenario, socialism turns into communism, and you have things like Marx saying, from each according to his ability, to each according to his need. So you do whatever the state demands of you. Doesn't matter what sort of revenue it creates, the state owns that, and they'll reassign that to the people as they see fit. Meanwhile, capitalism says, what's yours is yours. Sure, there's taxes to pay, and we're way past the point of reasonable taxes in this nation. But yes, there's taxes to pay, and there are maybe obligations that you've decided to take on personally, and some people include in that the obligation to help those in need, whether it's through their church, nonprofit, whatever the case may be. We're partnered here with Shepherd Community Center on the east side of Indianapolis. They do fantastic work. And so, but capitalism, freedom, these things have done wonders for humanity, absolute wonders for humanity, and yet we act like the solution is not you, but those in our government, the lovers of big government, act like the solution is socialism. It's not. Solution is freedom. Solution is capitalism. Solution is the people. We got to persuade people to believe this. We've got to use more light and less heat. We've got to be conservative, not bitter. And all of that is to say, I put a nice little bow on this. Like that's what we're seeking to do here. This is not just a talk show, a talk radio show if you're listening on radio, a podcast if you're listening on podcast. I don't know what you call it if it's on Facebook, a live stream. While we are those things, really what we are, we're the source of conservative, not bitter talk and education. And so as such, we're developing, CNBU, Conservative Not Bitter University, where we seek to teach people. We seek to teach people how to be more effective conservative communicators, persuaders. Try to teach people how to raise their children with conservative principles and values. Help people understand the core values and principles and ideas and foundations of conservatism, why those things matter, why we believe them. Different courses, that's just an example. So if you're interested in that, if you're interested in learning more about that, we're in the developmental stages of that. You can text us the word course, C-O-U-R-S-E, course, to 888-111. But I'll say this again. We have to find a way to move the needle. We have to shine more light and use less heat. And we have to be conservative, not bitter. And I've got to take a break. Oz has been over here diligently trying to get my attention now for the past 3 or 4 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. So I'm going to oblige and take a time out. Next segment will be shorter. I apologize in advance. You're listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk and Education. Back here in just a minute.
Like what you hear on Todd's show? Why not get more by signing up for Todd's free Semi-Sweet Morsels of Truth newsletter. To subscribe, visit toddhuffshow.com/subscribe or text HUFF to 31996.
Ever ask yourself, what does my business insurance actually cover? Well, at AIA and Avon, we think you deserve to know. AIA is focused on earning your trust. We've found that when we educate our clients and truly listen to them, they allow us to work alongside them to put together the insurance plan they need. Whether your business is big or small, give AIA a call, 317-718-1747, or find out what we can do for you at AIA4lowrates.com. Advertisement sponsored by Grange Insurance.
I love my community, and I wanted to do more to make a difference with my hard-earned dollars. I wanted to make an impact and help shape our future and our county. So I gave money to the Community Foundation of Morgan County. More than just charitable giving, the money I donate is tracked and measured so every dollar is held accountable. It's a social return on your investment. Why don't you join me in donating at cfmconline.org? That's cfmconline.org. Philanthropy with measurable impact.
Hey Indianapolis, by now you've probably heard about Jody Dowdle with Midwest Tax Group. Jody and his team are experts at helping you prepare your personal or small business tax returns. You can count on Midwest Tax Group to get every deduction possible and work for your higher refund. And not just on this year's taxes, they'll check your prior returns for any tax savings you may have missed for free. Are you behind on filing your returns? They can file past due returns and help negotiate with the IRS too. They complete most tax returns within a week and charge an affordable flat fee, no hourly billing. And as their client, you can consult with the team at Midwest Tax Group year-round at no charge. Midwest Tax Group has 4 office locations in Castleton, Greenwood, Plainfield, and Greenfield, with evening and weekend appointments available. Schedule your appointment today at 317-288-5260. That's 317-288-5260. Or visit their website at mwtaxgroup.com. Midwest Tax Group can help you more than any piece of software ever could.
Hi, my name is John Swadner, Sales Director of the Todd Huff Show. As a listener of the program, you know the show is growing. 4 years ago, it began as a podcast in a closet. Today, it's a 2-hour show that airs during morning drive in Indy and in Utah, and we're just scratching the surface. Todd brought me on board to help the show and our advertisers grow. That's why I'm specifically looking for partners who are a good fit to advertise with us. Would that be you? To learn more about what advertising would look like and to determine if it's a good fit for your business, shoot me an email to john@toddhuffshow.com. And be sure to ask me about some of our special packages that will save you up to 40%. Email john@toddhuffshow.com. Shoot me an email today.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
800-764-9168. 800-764-9168. 800-764-9168. That's 800-764-9168.
Yeah, so I would say the reason that we find ourselves in this mess that we find ourselves in today, a couple of reasons, but one of those reasons is that we have not educated properly, passed along the values to the next generation very well. We haven't done that. We have to admit that. We've got to change that. There's other reasons too. We've been asleep at the wheel as a society, as a culture. We've let government swell and just grow in size and responsibility and scope. We've sat by idly and let that be the case and didn't do anything about that. And now we're reaping the consequences of that. That's why we've got this stuff with Susan Rice. That's why we've got this stuff with Michael Flynn. That's why we've got this just the deep state. This is why we had Trump-Russia collusion, Ukrainian nonsense. Right? All this stuff is the result of our being asleep. It's why we have people in Washington, D.C. for in the case of Joe Biden, two-thirds of his life he's been in D.C. How is this a good thing? But yet that's what we've allowed to happen collectively in this society, in this great nation. And so we've got a lot of things to change. But we can't just, look, it's not like ripping off a Band-Aid. In a society where where there's a role of the individual, we're a self-governed people, a lot of people have willingly traded in their liberty for a little bit of perceived, and I say perceived, safety. A little bit of perceived safety. Yeah, the government will take care of me. All I got to do is, give them the authority to do whatever they want to do in this particular area, and everything will be hunky-dory apple pie, as my mom said. By the way, I should say this too. Happy anniversary to my wife. She has put up, I guess you would say, with me for 14 years today. So happy anniversary. So, there's reasons that we're facing these problems today. And we look at the issue and we might get angered or dismayed, or we might be perplexed as to why people think about these things the way they do. But it's everything that's happened prior to this. This just didn't happen yesterday, right? It's been the gradual coming apart, right? We have devolved. This idea of progressivism is actually a form of regression, taking away liberty, going back to how things were in old times throughout history, where governments treated people like serfs. The government ruled, the people complied, or they faced consequences. They didn't have much, they were dependent upon the government, and the government in many cases made sure of that. So we're regressing in that sense. We're not going to fix these problems overnight. We've got to be prepared for the long haul, and that means challenging the silly notions that people have in their minds, the misconceptions and erroneous beliefs. And it also means telling them the proper, what it means to properly be conservative or libertarian for that matter. Understanding these things, communicating these things, making sure that these ideas are passed on to the next generation. And again, as I said earlier, the United States is great because of ideas, as I have suggested and stated for that matter. It is great because of ideas. Then if those ideas change, then we can cease to be great. And so we've got to do what we can to make sure those ideas do not fade away. They are not replaced by more oppressive ideas, that they are not traded. Our liberty is not exchanged for the perception of more security or whatever other things that they promise us, comfort and safety and well-being and no coronavirus or whatever else it is that they tell us that they can achieve. So, that being said, got to take a time out. You're listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk and Education. I'm your host, Todd Huff, back in just a minute.
Listen to Todd's show on your way to work, but want to hear more? Don't miss a beat. Visit toddhuffshow.com/listen to catch the program anytime, anywhere.
If you own a rental property, you know the hassles of marketing, renting, collecting, and the handling of maintenance and repairs. One call to Zuluscape can put an end to your property management headaches. Zuluscape has over 20 years of experience helping landlords throughout central Indiana and taking the stress out of owning a rental. From A to Z, let Zuluscape handle it all so you can enjoy owning a rental instead of hating being a landlord. Give us a call at 317-663-8485 or visit our website at Zuluscape.com.
All right, here we go. $100 down, $100 down, $200 down, back at $300.
I went to my first firearms auction a few years ago. It was hosted by TJ Freege, one of my good friends from high school, who is a champion auctioneer and one of the best in the business. In spite of objections from liberal legislators, I walked away with a .22 rifle and a few boxes of ammunition. And I had a great afternoon with my grandpa that I won't soon forget. If you've ever wondered what treasure you could find in an auction, visit FreegeAuctioneers.com and take a look at their upcoming Central Indiana auction schedule. That's Freege, Freije, auctioneers.com. Visit FreegeAuctioneers.com.
Hi, I'm TJ Freege, owner and lead auctioneer at Freege & Freege Auctions and Marketing. I invite you to come see the power of live auctions. It's fast, it's fun, it's transparent, and it's the absolute best way to ensure you get fair market value for your asset today. Get results, go auction.
Seems like just yesterday that you couldn't find a quiet place to think in your home. Now all the kids have flown the nest and you find yourself wondering what to do with all of that extra space. This is Bruce of Bruce Richardson Realty. My team and I understand that life changes, and so do your home needs. So whether you're downsizing or upsizing, give us a call at 317-507-3285. Let us help you find the best fit for your residential or your commercial property needs. 317-507-3285.
Radon is an invisible, odorless gas that kills more people than drunk driving. In fact, radon is the leading cause of lung cancer in non-smokers. Is radon threatening the health of your family? Call Radon Environmental at 317-843-0804. Radon Environmental specializes in radon testing and mitigation. The process is quick, easy, and worth it. Radon Environmental wants to make sure your family's health is not at risk. Call 317-843-0804.
Ever ask yourself, what does my business insurance actually cover? Well, at AIA and Avon, we think you deserve to know. AIA is focused on earning your trust. We've found that when we educate our clients and truly listen to them, they allow us to work alongside them to put together the insurance plan they need. Whether your business is big or small, give AIA a call, 317-718-1747, or find out what we can do for you at AIA4lowrates.com. Advertisement sponsored by Grange Insurance.
What if your bank treated you like a person instead of an account number? What if you could sit across from the person you are opening an account with or requesting a loan from and have an actual conversation? You may be thinking, Todd, that's crazy talk. Well, not at Citizens Bank. Come visit them in Monrovia and meet Nick Gibson, their new branch manager, and the rest of their staff. Or give them a call at 317-831-0110. Citizens Bank is an equal housing lender and member FDIC. Welcome back. So who is Biden, or I should say Biden's handlers, going to choose as his vice presidential running mate? I said earlier today with these latest revelations, I guess, allegations or whatever you want to call them about Susan Rice, right? She had no idea that anything about the spying. In fact, she made a point to say that that's not what happened. There was no wiretapping done. Of course there was. We know this. Now, it wasn't wiretapping in the traditional sense, but it was spying on the campaign, right? It used to be called wiretapping back in the day. So they put the campaign under surveillance, right? Big whoop. That's what she wants you to think. But I think Susan Rice out there is actually making a run. She's making a hard push to be the vice presidential choice. I mean, she's got all the she checks all the boxes. She's woman, she's minority, and she's an expert at handling scandals. That's a perfect fit for today's Democrat Party. We've also got Gretchen Whitmer from Michigan. How this governor, how someone like Gretchen Whitmer is still a serious consideration for this, and the same would be true for Susan Rice. I guess I don't know if she's really in the running. Who knows who's really in the running? They probably put these trial balloons up to see who is going to, it's like a focus group, a little mini focus group. So they're talking about all these different candidates. But why would you put Gretchen Whitmer? I guess on the one hand, you could say, hey, she's acting like a tyrant, a petty tyrant in the state of Michigan. So maybe she fits in perfectly with the Democrats' vision for what the party should become in 2020. Kamala Harris, my wife says, is the most unlikable candidate maybe in modern history. And then we got Joe Biden at the top. We got all this. I mean, look, the Biden campaign is facing a serious problem here. Yesterday, again, we're still trying to wrap our minds around, our heads around everything that was released yesterday. But the Ukrainians released a phone call that Biden had with them. They weren't very happy about it. At least that's what the translation I read said. Right? So I don't speak their language there, but I can tell you that, you factor in the Ukrainian situation with Hunter Biden and all that stuff. You factor in Tara Reade. You factor in Biden's gaffes. You saw him the other day holding a virtual, whatever he was holding, something. This time he's not in his basement. They moved him up to the main floor, it looks like, of his home. And they might move him back in the basement after what happened. After what happened at this virtual town hall or whatever they called this thing. There were geese back there, honk, 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 honking in the background. Biden didn't know what to do. Secret Service agents peeking their heads around the corners. I think Jill Biden may have walked behind the camera at some point. I didn't see that, but I think I read that. Biden made some comment about the geese honking about, trying to get away from the coronavirus, whatever that's supposed to mean. I mean, that makes as much sense as anything else. Makes as much sense as lying dog-faced pony soldier. Makes as much sense as the infamous legend of Corn Pop, which is still my personal favorite. I want to see Biden hang in there a little bit longer, not to win the election, but just I want to hear some more about Corn Pop, because there has to be another version. There has to be like Act 2 with Corn Pop. Maybe they get together and they, they put their differences aside, and we might find out that Corn Pop became a staffer in the Biden administration. Maybe Corn Pop knew Tara Reade. We don't know. But the thing is, it's entertaining, but it's a metaphorical train wreck, folks, the Biden campaign. And so right now, the people that they're listing as candidates for VP, I don't see how they help. I don't see how any of them help him, to be quite candid. Now, there's a built-in hatred for Trump, and there's a built-in percentage of people who are going to vote Democrat no matter what. They could put Mickey Mouse on the ballot, and they would vote for Mickey Mouse. But that's what we're dealing with. But there's still some who say Biden's not going to be the guy. fact, I had Dr. Victor Davis Hansen on the program a week or two ago, and he said 30% chance that it's not. I think Bill Bennett said 50% chance it's not. So this VP pick is a big deal for Biden, because if he picks the wrong VP and his handlers say, look, the powers that be in the Democrat Party say, look, this is not going to work out, we're going to get slaughtered in November, they will find a way to replace him. I don't know yet. I haven't decided if that's going to be the case or not, but it's certainly a possibility. And I've got to take a break. Got to take a break here. You're listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I am your host, Todd Huff. Back in just a minute.
Is it possible to be a fan of the show if you don't have the gear to prove it? Why not be safe and remove all doubt? Shop for official merchandise at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
All right, here we go. $100 down, $200 back, $300.
I went to my first firearms auction a few years ago. It was hosted by TJ Freegee, one of my good friends from high school, who is a champion auctioneer and one of the best in the business. In spite of objections from liberal legislators, I walked away with a .22 rifle and a few boxes of ammunition. And I had a great afternoon with my grandpa that I won't soon forget. If you've ever wondered what treasure you could find in an auction, visit FreegeeAuctioneers.com and take a look at their upcoming Central Indiana auction schedule. That's Freegee, Freije, auctioneers.com. Visit FreegeeAuctioneers.com.
Hi, I'm TJ Freegee, owner and lead auctioneer at Freegee Auctions and Marketing. I invite you to come see the power of live auctions. It's fast, it's fun, it's transparent, and it's the absolute best way to ensure you get fair market value for your asset today. Get results, go auction.
You rely on your vehicle every day. It's not a member of the family, but you spend as much time with it as most family members. You wouldn't take your family to just any doctor, so don't trust your vehicle to just any repair service. At Raymond's Auto and Truck Repair in Plainfield, we have well-trained, caring technicians that have the expertise to get you back on the road. For 25 years, we've been servicing personal, commercial, and fleet vehicles. Give us a call at 317-838-7112 for the car service you deserve.
Geothermal tax credits are back, making this the perfect time to install a new Climate Master geothermal system. Take advantage of this limited time 26% tax credit and begin cutting your heating and cooling bills immediately. Visit indianageothermal.com/info to get your free Climate Master information kit, or call 317-829-1490. Visit indianageothermal.com/info or call 317-829-1490. Geothermal, it's cheaper than you think.
The printing industry has changed a lot since we opened for business in 1931, but what our clients expect from us really hasn't changed. Quality print, fast turnaround, and competitive prices. We've learned a lot at Moeller Printing over 86 years and 3 generations. Why not put that experience to work for you? Call 317-353-2224 and mention discount code RADIO to receive 10% off your first order. Call Moeller Printing at 317-353-2224.
Anxiety, depression, relationship problems, past trauma. Problems rarely get better when given time. Care to Change counseling can help. Our professionals combined evidence-based care models with scripture to get you on the path to a productive life. We are here to help you make the changes you need for a healthier, happier you. Take that brave step today. Call Care to Change at 317-790-9396 or visit caretochange.org.
Business leaders, are your employees satisfied with their jobs? Do they enjoy coming to work and feel valued? Workforce Chaplains can help. Locally owned, we work with organizations to provide holistic care to their employees. I'm Marcus Schrader, President of Workforce Chaplains, and we offer your team a 24/7 support system that positively affects your company's culture and productivity. With our personalized pricing and diverse support system, we handle the issues that you wish you had time for. To learn more, visit us at workforcechaplains.com.
Welcome back. So waning moments of the program, but I just looked up and saw during the break on Fox News, Ben Roethlisberger is apparently in trouble with the Democrat governor in the state of Pennsylvania for getting a haircut. getting chastised. The governor at his press conference even apparently mentioned it, talking about Ben Roethlisberger, quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, needs to understand just how dangerous that is, getting a haircut anyway. All right, guys, I've got to go. Have a great day. SDG. See you tomorrow. Take care. As a listener of this program, I have no doubt that you embrace the value